go up that minutes up there. So, but I'll get rid of them after we get this thing done. We can keep this as short as you need to, Ryan. It's not a big deal.
Okay, or I can always hop out too, and you guys can finish whatever.
No, we'll finish it up quick. We're just going to tell you why we did it. That's all. It shouldn't take that long. Really, if this thing's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it'll be even better.
For years, when I thought of pressure washing, I always thought of something like this. But after working with companies in the industry for the past few years, I've come to see there's more to it. A lot more. I'm Brad Williams. I'm a creator and entrepreneur, and I'm on a mission to find out what it takes to tackle the biggest and most complex cleaning jobs in the country and meet the people behind it all. Join me on a journey to find out. This is Project Grit.
That's good, Ron.
How are you guys doing this morning?
Man, we're doing great. It's afternoon over here on the East Coast, but doing great.
It's
Ryan.
still morning here. That's right. We're 3 hours difference. Ryan, it's lunchtime by you, morning by me. So, but hey, this is awesome. Project Grit. You know what? You know, one of the funniest things was about this is that I didn't realize you guys named this thing Grit. Tell me why you named it Grit, and then I'm going to tell you my funny story about Grit.
I'll tell you.
Ron, go ahead.
There's a lot of back and forth. I think we've got a couple like Google Docs of like possible titles and will this work better or this work better? What sounds good and what sounds good? And Brad can extend a little bit more, but the gist of it is I think the cool thing about the word grit is it means a couple things. One is the determination and the effort you have to put in to grow a business. And that's a lot of what we want to highlight and the people who are doing the work. And then there's the second meaning of grit just means like dirt and grime. And this is about the wash industry, and the guys are super familiar with that. So I think it works on a couple levels. I don't know if Brad, you had any other deep
Man, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Plus, grit's just a good word, man. It just feels good.
It is. But I'll tell you what, for me, it's the not quitting. You know what I mean? You got to have the grit to stay in there and hang in there. I mean, I always tell everybody that besides trust, grit is probably the next important word in sales. I mean, if you don't have the grit, that what it takes, the heart, inside of you, you're never gonna your business. I wouldn't say it's not going to succeed, but it's never going to be what you envision it's going to be unless you have that type of fire inside of you. And I think it's grit. It's all about grit. But I like the way you guys came with it. I mean, that's also cool too. It's also cool too. This guy's story, so we can tell everybody they need to watch it, and I'm going to put the link in the deal, is about grit. When he first tells that story, but I don't want to talk about his story right now. I want to talk about your guys' story. What made you guys do this thing? What made you do this? And kind of tell these people what this is about, because I don't think anybody right now even understands. Like, they just watch that little intro. They don't understand what you all are up to.
Yeah. The time I've gotten to spend around the industry has been really cool and eye-opening. Like, 10 years ago, I didn't know anything about the pressure wash, everything that went on with it. And I was been completely surprised again and again with the scope, the scale, the complexity, the skill of what I've witnessed out there. Like, I just never occurred to me that what I saw is something we just kept in the garage to, wash off the driveway. A pressure washer there was so much more to it. And I think witnessing that and getting up close to it, we kind of were just talking one day and we're like, what if somebody came to this industry like they do in some of the adventure spaces, and like we really went in there and made something that celebrated what's going on, and like, the amazing people, the really cool jobs, you know, some of the success stories, and like we got in there and made something high quality. So, you know, this project really spawned from just being kind of a passion project to get out there and really show how much more there is to the pressure washing industry than probably what the average person thinks. You know, what I wanted, my vision for the project, Ron, is that a pressure washing contractor would watch this and share this, and it would make them proud to be part of the industry.
Yeah, it's funny. When we first started talking about doing this project, we were very much, let's go do the coolest job. Like, let's go find throw Brad off a skyscraper. Let's go find the NFL stadium and see the guys who are doing that. Let's do all these. Who's cleaning the Statue of Liberty? Let's go figure out that, and let's go talk to them. And as we've kind of like morphed it, and certainly with this first project that we were part of, it certainly shifted. I think our opinion on what makes for good video has shifted too. It's like, you don't necessarily have to have the high stakes danger where, is he going to fall off this building or not? Or like that's all kind of some manufactured drama. But what's cool, and I think this episode really points out, is, and it's not like contrived at all. I think in the episode, Brad says like, this isn't the project we started out to shoot. It's like, that's certainly not contrived. It's very it's very much different than what we expected. But the cool thing is seeing like, no, the real story is just about the guys who are doing it. And Ron, I know you're big on contractors and like promoting contractors and pushing them forward and telling their stories. And this was a really cool way that I think opened both of our eyes to be able to do that and to share more about just like, who are these guys who are doing it? And yeah, they do some cool projects, but no, the story is about this guy who every day wakes up at 5 a.m. and shows up to the job and has his meeting and goes to the job. And then I think one guy after work goes and works as like an acupuncturist or whatever his like side gig was. They're just interesting people. And I think that's what people want to hear about.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's really cool. I think you chose a really cool company. I'm hoping that more of these companies are going to open up to you guys to do this type of thing. You know, I'm thinking about when you start talking about the Statue of Liberty and what's the one tall feature in Seattle? What is it?
Space Needle.
They did Karcher did the Space Needle. Karcher did the Mount Rushmore deal where they cleaned Mount Rushmore. I think it hadn't been cleaned since it was carved out, and they did all that stuff. And those were I think that those were articles back in either the early 2000s or late 1900s.
Yeah.
If you look at the video, it reflects that for sure.
It's square video, so I think that tells you a little bit about the era, what the television it was made for.
But right, even going back and doing videos like that, and like now with all the technology and the drone use and everything else, it would be such a way cooler experience for the person that's watching the video versus the guy that's actually, he's the only guy getting that experience. You can make that something, but it is cool that you guys want to take on these projects and stuff like that. Kind of like a Mike Rowe type of thing, right? I mean, without
Dirty Jobs was one of the big inspirations for the series. That's, if you can't tell, like I kind of play the Mike Rowe, in the whole show. Like, it's kind of interjecting myself as like a non-insider, exploring it, with the audience. We envision this being for the industry, but also something the average person could enjoy. Well,
I definitely need to see you go right over to those pig barns that are right by you, man, and get some video because they're being cleaned on a regular basis, man.
Oh man, I don't know. Like,
you go by and just go. You go. Oh my gosh, let's get by. Roll the windows up, honey.
Driving down the highway past that part of the state is bad enough. I cannot imagine. Or going to the western part of the state near us and the chicken coops. I mean, you can smell those on the highway too. So that's what the windows rolled up. Yeah, and the other part of this is this project kind of allows us to do a couple of things. One, it's a passion project where we get to, you know, really elevate the people, the contractors in the industry. But at the same time, it's a way for us to demonstrate something that we really believe in, which is, you know, helping the businesses, the vendors in these industries see a way to create non-cookie cutter media, right? To like step out of the comfort zone and say, hey, one, if we can get behind things that are not just ads, they're not just product demo videos, but we can get and do things that are storytelling and entertainment and are really made for our audience, not just made to tell about what we sell. And I think it's a way to do that and to do it together, right? Like, and I think if we can kind of come together on a project like this, like everybody can win. The contractor can win, the vendor can win, and I think the industry is elevated throughout the process.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I think what you guys are doing is great. I think the video was very entertaining. I think it's inspirational as far as like the story. If guys really listen to that story of how this company and I'll talk about these numbers about this company. This is a company that does millions of dollars, multiple locations. The mothership, it's real. People don't believe this, but the mothership this company's umbrellaed under is a $756 million company. I don't know of any other I don't know a bigger company than that. I don't know in the industry. I don't think that there is one. Manufacturing wise, absolutely. There's multiple ones that are much bigger than that, but I don't think service wise that there is a company that is that large. Now, what's kind of funny, and guys might say, well, what does that have to do with what does that have to do with it? I think that on this journey, I think we're going to find other companies that are potentially just as big. I believe that they're out there. I just believe that this just happens to be a very public company. They have to be they're a growing company. They're continually acquiring companies. I think that year that they acquired this particular company that you did, I don't want to oversay something that's not, we don't want a fact checker out there, but I'll just say they bought 150 different companies that same year. I think it was actually 200, but I'm going to be safe and say 150. And I think they spent, in that acquisition, I think they spent like 50 or $60 million. So that's quite a bit of capital to be thrown around. I don't know if you guys knew those numbers or not. I'm the numbers guy on that side. That's what I look at. That's the kind of stuff that I read, kind of to get a feel of where our industry is headed. Some people don't care about that stuff, but I think it's important.
It is important, in what we produced here. We really focused on the individual story that Crystal Clean is. Kept certainly Fleet Wash, kept whatever you want to call them, was involved and gave their blessing to what we were doing. But I really think the story that was there to be told was what Jeremy, his wife, his brother did at that location and how they grew it up to grassroots. Obviously selling to a big conglomerate is a part of their story, and it has been for the past 5 years or 4 years, 4 or 5 years. And certainly help them unlock a new chapter. But I think it's like the core of it. It's like when you see that the only reason that it works is not the money, it is having the right people in the right positions who are empowered and who show up and do more than just punch the clock in their job. That like there's this like really amazing story of like, wow, we could learn a lot about what it takes to build a business from listening to all these people. And like that's kind of what I took away from it. There's been some discussions. I mean, KEP certainly, like under that umbrella, they have a lot of companies that are doing a lot of cool projects around the United States. I don't know if we'll do more of them. I think there's some opportunities that we've been told about. And I don't want to repeat any of that. I don't know that that's appropriate, but there's definitely some opportunities there. I would like to explore like you know, other avenues and other places. You know, one of the things that we heard back on, I think this is a good place to address this because this is kind of like a news outlet. You know, we got the first like negative comment on YouTube the other day, and I thought it was really funny. And it said, you know, this video is an advertisement for Crystal Clean. You know, it's a 16-minute ad for Crystal Clean. And like I had to laugh a little bit inside, but you know, that's like the benefit for a contractor to be involved with something like this because they are the heroes of the story. But you know, I'm like kind of also proud to say like kept Crystal Clean. You know, they were not they did not hire us. You know, this is supported by the partners behind Grit, and we approached them, and they were beneficiaries where we came out and told a story. They had zero influence over anything in the video. They did not pay us to promote them in the video. It just so happened that like the people there at Crystal Clean are incredible, and they come out looking like freaking heroes at the end of the day. And that was just the authentic story. So like, you know, just to set the record straight, you know, it just was what happened.
That's a hell of a testimonial for their culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to upset anybody. I'm glad Crystal Clean has that kind of culture. Because I believe in that video that they do. You know what I mean? But we'll just say that maybe the mothership is not that, doesn't work on that same platform.
And I have super limited.
If I upset Guido, I'm sorry, Guido. I apologize in advance. So.
Yeah, and everybody was great, you know, and I think that's the thing. Like, you know, we dealt very much with that location. I think we got, you know, blessing from the mothership to do what we were doing. I mean, certainly they have to say okay that we're there, but yeah, it was
Steve Blythe.
Cool.
Are you listening? If you hear this, Steve, get these guys some of these window cleaners that are swinging from these, you know, 100-story buildings, man. That's what we need. And
that is on
they're
the
right
list,
up there,
Ryan.
and they're right up there by you, Ryan. Come on.
Yeah, no, that is certainly on our when we first kind of put together our pitch, that was probably the top one or two things on our list of like, hey, here are the type of jobs we want to do. And like from, hey, we want to do something with super difficult access that it takes a very unique specialized skill to do. We want to do a high-rise window. We want to do something like recognizable, like a stadium or a monument. Yeah, the window cleaning, especially because Brad's afraid of heights. Like the window cleaning's up there of a project.
Oh, we got to drop him off the side of a building, man.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
yeah. You know,
like this is,
yeah.
I think that that's good entertainment.
Wait a minute,
know? Use me for the entertainment.
Nikki might not like that though. She might not like that.
Hey, she knows.
Wait. Do you have a good insurance policy? Hang on.
Yeah, there's
full well what you know that like what's happening with this for sure.
There's one other thing that I want to try and get us into also, and this would require a bunch of work on Brad's part also. But there's this guy I know who does underwater boat hole cleaning. So he like scuba dives down and like cleans boats while they're still in the water. With I forget what his like.
I've seen that.
It's crazy stuff. It's essentially
I've seen that. It's crazy, and it's very dangerous.
Yeah, and so it's not high pressure. They use like some sort of like cavitation cleaner where they're making bubbles and then it like knocks all these barnacles and stuff off the boat. But I think it'd be super fun to do some sort of episode, like get them up high and also like get them down underwater and go explore that, because that is a whole nother part of the industry I know close to nothing about, other than I've watched a couple YouTube videos of guys doing it.
Turkeys. Yeah, I don't know about this whole like cleaning animal facilities thing. Like, I don't appreciate you guys throwing that out there, because I feel like you guys are speaking it to existence. And like next thing I know, hey, we can go do that, and I'm gonna have to.
We're not making dirty jobs.
They have this thing called washouts. It's kind of like a mini of cleaning the chicken coop, where you actually clean the truck. Some of those are worse, but I will tell you this, okay? In my experience in fleet washing, and I don't think if there's any fleet washers out there that are watching this, they'll confirm this. The worst thing in the world to wash is a garbage transfer hauler.
Probably.
Okay. It's
And-
you have to understand when they pick it up from your curb, that's fresh garbage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fresh garbage. When it goes to a transfer station, it sits there for days. And then those transfer trucks come and they put it in the transfer trucks, and the transfer trucks take it out. Oh my gosh. There's nothing worse than being inside that transfer truck,
Oh, man.
rinsing that nasty stuff out of there. And
Yeah.
and when you get a call from the sanitation guy and he tells you, no, you did not see a finger, you know, you didn't see that, you know, because they don't want
Yeah.
you to shut down. They don't want you to shut down the facility. You didn't see a finger. It was a chicken wing, you know. Okay.
Hey, I gotta go grab my kids. I'll let you guys kind of wrap up.
All right.
But,
Thanks.
yeah,
Thanks, Brad.
I'll take
Appreciate
you
you coming
later.
out, man.
Alrighty.
Anyways, we can wrap this up, Brad. I think everybody kind of knows what you guys are doing, and I think I just want to put in this. I would love to see you guys do something with Heath Phelps, because he's got so much growth doing stuff all over the thing. I definitely would like to see you get together with him and even talk about like the incredible expansion that he's made and the impact he's made on the industry. I think it would be a very cool thing. I think there should be an episode 2 on and you might have enough video for this. All these dang educational seminars you've been to.
Yeah.
You've been to South Carolina, you've been to Florida, you've been out to Phoenix, you've been out to California. I'm just giving you some ideas there. I think you're missing on something. I think that's an episode.
Yeah, I think that, one of the things that we want to do as we kind of move this forward is, Pat's doing this with me. So if no one picked up on this, Pat Clark is my co-host in the show, is to like explore a region. So, the next episode, if we're in the Northeast or in the Northwest or Southwest or whatever, and we're in a state, to stop and kind of like get to know the wash culture in that area. Have some time with maybe 2 or 3 different people, and kind of maybe even do some fun things. So I think it's like, how do we peel the veil back, get to know the people better, see the projects, and maybe that is attend like a cleaning event, and then like, be a part of a project that's going on, and like, visit like a local vendor, because I know those people really become part of their communities in such a big way. So I think it's like, how do we turn it into something where like it's an experience that you get to come along on and get to know maybe a part of the industry that you haven't seen yet?
Yeah, you can remove graffiti in South Chicago and have to wear a bulletproof vest
Right.
because you're getting shot at while you're trying to remove the graffiti.
You have so many good ideas today, Ron. I'm writing them down.
That's
Hey,
dangerous.
Judy.
That's not dirty jobs. It's dangerous jobs.
Right.
Maybe that's what your show should. Maybe it should, instead of grit, it should have been called Dangerous Jobs.
Right. So I am interested. I have not heard from Trudy. Trudy, have you watched Grit yet? And what do you think? Because you are on my list of people that I would love to feature in an episode. I think you represent like the best of what the industry has to offer.
Trudy, you got 7 minutes, man, if you want to come in. 7 minutes. Let's see if she says yes or no. I'm already in advance sending her the invite link.
Did you drop a YouTube link for everybody where they can find?
I did.
Where they find their episode?
I did. Let me pop it up again right there. It's also in the description too as well.
Okay, cool.
I was way ahead of you on that one, man. I was actually
Cool.
I was actually ahead of you on that. Not normally ahead of you, but I was this time. Trying to find Trudy here.
One of the things that everybody can look forward to. So if you do check it out on the YouTube channel, and you don't mind subscribing, you like what you see, we are going to do some extended cuts because, over the course of 3 days, we obviously got a lot more than 16 minutes of footage. There is a interview with Pat that we do on his property in his Jeep. While his kids are buzzing around on 4-wheelers. And that was really fun. It was a really, really fun interview. Steve and Pat do some walk and talks about, how to approach selling and dealing with a job like that. They actually do like a rig tour of one of the Crystal Clean trucks, and a lot of the stuff just didn't make it into the final cut. Unfortunately, that's the process. But yeah, we're gonna have some extended cut stuff come out too that I think will be interesting to see. And I hate to leave it sitting locked away on a hard drive when we could share that, especially with people that are in the industry. Maybe not as much for the entertainment of the main episode.
Well, that's good. I guess Trudy did not take us up on our offer.
That's
oh well.
okay.
It's okay. She's got a studio now, though. She's got to be ready to roll all the time now, because you never know, man. She's got her. Did you see her nice studio she built? She built a really nice studio. So
Cool.
Got her own little studio now. That's cool. Well, guys, I appreciate this, man. Guys, man, watch this thing and subscribe to it. It's right there. It's also in the description. If you guys look down below my video here, go to YouTube, watch this thing, subscribe to the channel. It'll be a bit before they probably get out another piece of work, but be ready for it. And who knows, maybe you could be a part of this thing. That's the exciting thing that I want to put out there to these contractors, is that, like I said, I think that I think you already said it. Like, when you go to another city this time, you're not going to go to one person's place. Probably you're going to go to multiple people and get multiple people involved. And I think that's really probably the way to make this thing really popular, is because, then contractors are going to be, hey, looking forward to, doing it. And there might be somebody out there, and I'm just going to put this out there. If you think you got something unique or something that these guys should do something on, let them know. Get a hold of them right there in the YouTube thing. Respond and say, hey, man, I'm doing something that nobody's even ever doing, because my mind's going to right now, like Southwest Gas. People don't realize it. They have these tunnels under the entire cities where these gas lines run. They're actually tunnels. You know that, right? Where the gas lines are. They're not buried. They're in a tunnel. And that's what they have to do. They have to clean those.
Yeah.
And they're they're very dangerous. People don't understand that. They're very dangerous, because what's leaking down there sometimes? Gas.
Right. Yeah. No joke.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's gas, and I mean, you're supposed to do all the vented stuff and do all the regulations and follow all those things, but it's very dangerous. People virtually are risking their lives sometimes when they're cleaning those things. And it's insane. And it's just, I can think of all the cleaning that goes on that people don't even realize that goes on, that are insanely crazy. Even guys that clean kitchen exhaust hoods. It's a dangerous job, man. It's a dangerous job. And people just take it for granted that, it's grease hoods. It's bottom of the barrel guys out there that are doing this. And really it's not, man. I mean, if you don't clean those things properly, we've had fires, people die. Firefighters have died, because roofs have collapsed on those grease fires where they don't take care of they don't do the things properly. I think that what you got going on here is a major thing to make a huge awareness. And in closing, I'm going to explain this. I'm going to tell guys about this. Back in the early 2000s, residential pressure washing was not a real big thing. It wasn't like it is today. Home Depot, it wasn't Lowe's, it was Home Depot at the time, came out with a commercial. And everybody was furious. And I bet you know what the commercial was. The homeowner buying the Home Depot pressure washer, washing his own house.
Yeah.
But people didn't understand that it made an awareness that this even existed. Okay.
Right.
Because people didn't even know back then, 20 years ago, that pressure washing existed for this application. And guys were so mad because, you're going to have homeowners buying pressure washers and doing it themselves. And everybody got so busy, it was unbelievable. And there was a time period where Home Depot was running those commercials. Well, I wish they'd keep running those commercials. We should put those commercials back on TV, because so many people still don't know that you use a pressure washer to wash your house. And guys got upset about that. And I think you guys are onto something here where you can make a impact on letting consumers, and people don't think about this. You're letting consumers understand that, hey, this is the way we clean a skyscraper. This is the way we handle fracking. We do fracking properly. And I don't think people realize, I think that guy that said we're advertising for Crystal Clean, maybe he saw it. because maybe he's in one of their markets and he's irritated that they're being highlighted again because maybe he's losing jobs to them. But this is the real deal thing, man, here. Oh, and by the way, that was Lexi Harkins that just chimed in. She's one of the operators down there for Heath Phelps I was telling you about. And you guys really need to do something with Heath. You need to get with him. His story is crazy. 22 years armed service, submariner, and retired. And then now, like, just taking our industry really by storm. I mean, I guess he's got 22 brands now that he's opened up in the last 18 months.
That's crazy.
It's insane. Well, it's insane. He might wind up being the next Fleet Wash. I mean, that's or being bought out by the next Fleet Wash, whichever one it winds up being.
I think those are the stories that we have to tell, and that's the mission from here is tell those stories. And like, if you're hearing this and you're a contractor, like, and you're doing something cool, we want to show what you're doing. We want, hey, Pat, there's my man, my partner in crime. Him and I were just out doing some of that crazy 4-wheeler stuff this weekend up in West Virginia.
You were with him?
Yeah,
we were. That's cool.
Yeah, we were doing the trails up the Hatfield McCoy trails up in West Virginia.
That's cool.
With his kids and all. It was a blast.
It was the Williams and Clarks.
Yeah, we were all there hanging out in the woods. A little bit of broken down time, but a lot of fun, whole lot of fun. I think it's like, one, watch it. 2, reach out to us if you think you have something you want us to show. Like, this is something we want to highlight contractors, and if we're looking for partners who want to be a part of it. So like, this is a group effort. This is a collaboration. We're facilitators. We can create the media. We can tell this story, but we need your support too. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being on. Thanks, Ron. I always enjoy this.
You coming down to Orlando again? Are you going to make it? You don't have to come on the 31st because that's ridiculous. You got kids. Everybody's going to be. I'm even going to be home on Halloween, but come on the Saturday and the Sunday. Come Saturday and Sunday. Bring the kids to Disneyland. You got to come back to the PWNA event. You got to come back.
Oh, is it PWNA in Orlando?
If they see you there a second time, they're going to trust you. They're going to trust you more.
When is it?
It's going to be November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Don't even think about the 31st because you're not coming on the 31st. I'm not even coming on 30th. I got kids.
Yeah.
You got kids. I got kids. There's no way we can come October 31st. You and I both know where we'll be. We'll be there until the street lights come on, and then 9 o'clock we got to head back to the house. So that's what dads do.
Well, we'll see what we can do. That's right. Yeah. I tell you what, I think that like, that's the biggest opportunity here is when we work together on things like this, and like everybody wins. It's like what you said about the Home Depot commercials, when we do it together, everybody wins. So
yeah.
Thanks,
it's
Ron.
A big deal. No problem. Appreciate you. Hey, guys, Ron Musgraves. Appreciate Brad and Ryan for coming out today, guys. Grit, check it out again right down there. I got it in the description. It's over in the messages as well, guys. Appreciate these two guys coming out. Pressure Washing Institute, Contractors First. This is Ron Musgraves, guys. Go to National Cleaning Expo, sign up for a free event. And don't forget the PWNA is coming up again, October 31st, November 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, guys. Look forward to seeing you guys out there.